Hello, I am Pam, and this is my channel, Made by Pam. So, today is Friday. It's another Friday. First week of school for my kids. So today is August 19th, 2022. Isn't that great? So, my older kids had school. My kindergarten starts next week, which is great. I love it. Alright, so what did I get done this week? Well, I did work on my shirts. So, this shirt here is the one I made back in 2019. I got this fabric from a Chicago fabric haul that I did because I was in Chicago visiting my son, attending his Navy graduation. And so I decided that while I was out there, and I knew I was going to go thrift store shopping when I was out there. I was going to go look for fabric. And so I decided since I was out there, I was going to, I would make sure I had extra space and extra luggage to store all of my extra fabrics. So I took 2 suitcases, but the one suitcase had my clothes in it, which was a smaller one, and the larger suitcase I used to put all of my findings in. And I just kind of combined those together. And so when I went on the plane, my smaller suitcase I had stacked inside my big suitcase. So that's how I got it all home. Because I went on a plane. I wasn't going to drive out to Chicago on my own. I could have, but I'm like, nope, not happening. And it was in January. Alright, so back to the shirts that I'm making. So this is a shirt I made in 2019, and I decided I wanted a couple more like it. And then I realized every time I put this on that it's a little tight in the front, and it doesn't have the best shaping, but that's okay. We'll get over it. Because nobody sees the buttons on the front. They used to when I wore different pants. But since I wear overalls, nobody sees what's on the front. So, it's great. Alright, so many people wonder, did I figure out my debacle with the collar? I did. Okay. So, I have this pinned up, and I thought I was going to have to bring that seam allowance in on this neckline, but no. Basically, it was offset a little bit, somehow, part of it got offset, so it wasn't lining up. And so I was able, on part of it, I was able to stretch this fabric, so the part that didn't have the interfacing on it, I was able to stretch it a little bit, because it is, kind of on it's on a curve, so the fabric's stretched just a teeny tiny bit. But I was able to stretch it to make it fit. And so I do have it. But the reason why I had to do that is because what happened is when I was cutting this part, it's kind of wide, huh? I kind of cut it a little bit. Well, I had made this piece too thin. I made this too wide, basically. It's supposed to be a little bit wider up here to make room, to take up the extra space that the collar takes up. Yeah, I figured that out. And so, I did get the collars put on the other 2 shirts because those ones I hadn't messed up yet. And so I was able to figure it out. So, this just has that little ledge piece. And so here you can kind of see where, how wide that is there. And then on this piece, kind of the difference here, how wide that is. I don't know if you can tell, but I can sure tell. Now, I only needed to hand stitch maybe that much of my shirt. Well, on the collar, just hand stitching. And that was just to close up the end. Because I'm able to do kind of like how I sew it, I'm able to flip this so I can use my sewing machine and sew all that. And so I only have like this space right here. So it's just that small space is all that I have that I hand stitched right there. Just right there. Yeah. It's one of those cool little tricks I figured out. And then this one I did have to hand stitch in 2 parts. Like I did have to hand stitch right here because I sewed this up, and then when I pulled it out, I'd realized that this had gotten stuck up under a little bit. I'm like, I can't be having that. So I had to unpick it a little bit and pull this piece out. And then I just had a hand stitch because I wasn't going to like finagle to get it back to that point to pull it out. And then I just have my hand stitching here. And I do need to do my top stitching on the collar because the collar looks very floppy. But it's okay. But I have those done. And I have the... Well, see, the hem is already done. The placket for the buttons are done. I don't have the buttonholes or the buttons on yet. And the sleeves are already done. And the collar is almost finished. I just need to top stitch the edges of those collar to make it look nicer. And so that is finished. So I'm hoping I put that collar on right. Like how I did it basically is I am attaching the interface edge to that, and that might not be right. I should probably be putting this piece on so it has a better lay down when it lays down, like because this side's not being seen, so that would look nicer if it was on the top part. And I don't know how I did this other one because this one was done years ago and it was done with a different interfacing. So if I look at this, yeah, I'm probably doing it wrong. I'm thinking, okay, so I am probably doing it wrong. So if I did switch that up and switch those around, so these ones would probably look nicer if I'd actually done it right, but that's okay. So see here on this, it has those little asterisks for interfacing. Well, here, see how that folds down there? And there's a little asterisk for the interfacing there. Well, that's where you're supposed to fold under the collar so that you already have that folded to do your stitching along the edge. Because this one I have all the stitching along the edge. These ones I'm not, because when I'll sew this part on and then I'll take this and I'll flip it around like this. So I'll take and flip it, and basically I am like, it's kind of like a burrito method, but not really. But I basically am finagling because this collar is, you know, it's malleable. I haven't stitched anything else on the top or on the sides. So I'm able to flip it and like stitch those pieces down and, you know, and then pull it out, and then I'm able to go to this other side and flip it and sew those pieces down and then sew it to the other side. And it just kind of, when I'm done, I have like just a small section that I have to hand stitch, which is so much better than having to even like stitch this piece down, because I'm not folding these edges in. I'm not like having it folded in and stitched. I realize a while back. It's been a while, but I was like, you know what? I can do that. So that's what I like to do. Alright. So I have those 3 shirts. They're getting closer to being finished. I was thinking I need to get some... No, keep looking at this. And I'm seeing it in the camera and noticing that it's just a little bit scawampus. And it looks a little weird. Alright. And I don't know if you would say that or not. But I was thinking about making pants for my kids. So I got out a couple of fabric. Well, a couple of patterns that I was thinking about. Now, I've done some of these patterns before. Like this one here would be for my 5-year-old. This is simple pants. And I've made them before. And so, well, yeah, because I made it for my then 5-year-old in kindergarten. And then my daughter wore them. And now my son's going to wear them this year. But I was thinking of making another pair for my 5-year-old for school. And then I also have these pants here. Yeah, legs ended up being short, so needed to add 2 to 3 inches for legs to be above the, to not be above the ankles. So yeah, you can kind of tell that this is like a little short. And I think this is the one. Is this the one that I made for both kids? Probably. And then I do have this other pattern here. Now this is another pattern, 6050. This one I have not made before. And it's just a 10, 12, 14 for child. But I don't think I would put the elastic on the bottom per se because he's a little picky about that. But I would make it just so that he would have it. That second pair of pants just in case. And then I did find a pair of a pattern for my daughter. And these patterns I've had for a little while. Because they were actually out in my cabinet. So some of the patterns in my pattern cabinet I've had for a little bit of time. And then I, have so many more. I filled up the pattern cabinet. No doubt about that. And then I have boxes of patterns. And I'm like, what was I thinking? Alright, anywho. I have this pattern. It's a Simplicity 7055. And I was thinking of making a pair of pants. It would be a blue pair, but anywho, the ones that have, actually you can see part of the pocket opening. Because she likes pockets. And she wants ones that are easier to access. Some of her pants I put pockets on them. She's like, Mom, I don't like these pockets. I'm like, okay. Well, you're just going to have to deal with it. I was thinking I would make her another pair of pants for school. And then I do have this pattern here. Which the pockets on here are okay too, And this is a 3769 in McCall's. And I was thinking about this one, but then sometimes I look at that front closure and the zipper panel, and I'm like, do I really want to deal with that for my kids? Because for school, they prefer to just wear the elastic waisted band pants. Now my daughter is wearing a zippered and the little front closure pants, like the button closure. And she was wearing those today, but it does have a little bit of an elastic in the back, so it's okay. So I think about that, and I'm like, do I want to try to make another pair like that? I don't know. And then this is the same pattern as this one. This one's just a larger size. This is a medium large, extra large, for when my kids get bigger. And then this one was the extra small and small for the smaller ones. Yeah. And now they're all growing up. It's so awesome. Yeah. Alright. Well, that is what I have in the works. You know, I've been doing a little bit of mixed media, you know, dabble. And I really enjoy it. I have made some awesome friends. And I sure do appreciate it. Them coming out and watching my channel and subscribing and everything. And they are the sweetest ladies ever that you ever did meet. And, you know, Janet, you are awesome. And Janice. And the many others. Like a lot of people know about Becky from Aunt Beck's Creations. And she does, occasionally she'll do a Friday Sews. But she does like the crochet stuff and mixed media stuff and everything. And I was watching her one day, and I actually caught one of her lives, and we were talking about some of the other channels that some of them watch. And they put in links and stuff, and so I go to that, and I'm like, oh, cool. And then, you know, that's how I've spent my summer, you know, watching these extra ladies. Well, I guess only part of my summer, not the whole summer, because I've only found these awesome ladies, like, within the last, like, month and a half. But I've been able to watch them, and they are all so friendly and so nice, and I really do enjoy it. And so I am participating in a Mother Goose scene with Janet Young. She is a great lady too. And so I have those all mailed out. And then I am participating in a tag swap with Beth Schuler. Where we're just sending the tags to the people that we got the names for, and send those out to them, and that is so awesome. So I've got that done, and I'm just having fun. And isn't that what life is about, is having fun, you know? Alright, well, I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for stopping in and watching. Stay creative. Talk to you next time. Bye now.